All right. If you were to tell me that 3 years ago that I'd be on this stage today speaking in front of you all, I would have said you are crazy, because there was no way I was going to do this. But as Vonnie said, I got to use my voice today and share my story. For those that don't know me, my name is Antonio, and if you want to learn how to say my last name, you might just find me later. But before I get into things, or actually before that, I am a videographer, graphic designer, content creator, and one of the faces here at Think 3D behind the scenes. For as long as I can remember, I've always been kind of behind the scenes, the guy with the camera, the guy who makes videos, and that's all I've really been known as for my whole life. And even people that know me kind of know me just as that. So today I want to take this chance to kind of just tell my story of film and how I got to this journey and how I'm here today on this stage. Does that sound good? Before I begin, though, I want everyone to think about your own journeys and your own story. I will be going through different parts about how I trust the process and everything that led to this moment. So I want everyone to think about a couple things. What are some things you would tell your younger self? Some advice? What would you say? And just think about that along the way. So I was born here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I was a fourth-generation born American. So growing up, we kind of had some challenges. English wasn't my first primary language at home. My parents spoke Thai and Laotian, so that kind of led to some challenges at school. But outside of that, we had a pretty good childhood. We were traveling the world. My parents captured a lot of the memories, which kind of led to my growth and love for traveling and capturing all these different memories. And once I was old enough to get to school, though, that's when it kind of sank in, like, I got to start talking to people. I don't like doing that. And because of the English barriers I had, they thought, oh, we're going to throw him in ESL classes because, he doesn't really have a good grasp on the English language. So that made it challenging for the childhood part where I didn't really have a ton of friends growing up. But fast forward when I got to middle school, that's when I moved to this new neighborhood, and they all had the same interests as me. They were skateboarding, snowboarding, making all these YouTube videos, and I said, hey, this is my chance to kind of maybe get it in with the cool kids and figure out what I want to do. And that's what I did. I was one of the only ones with a camera at the time, so we were just kind of filming everything. We were filming random stuff, skateboarding, and we just kind of kept with it. This was just a way for us to keep capturing these memories, just to have them in the vault for down the road for today when we needed something to show the journey of where I am. And once I got to high school, we started making snowboarding videos at Great Bear. And this is where things kind of started changing for a little bit for me. This is when I knew I could do something with this. I wanted to film snowboarding, post on YouTube videos. We were getting a lot of traction from major brands in the snowboarding industry. We were getting posted on Transworld Magazine, Instagram accounts. So I said to myself, I have this goal now, a new dream. I want to move to Salt Lake City with my friend, who was sponsored at the time, and just film snowboarding for my life. Sounds like a great idea, right? 17 years old, doesn't know what he really wants to do. Told my mom this, and she goes, you're nuts. You're going to college. But I was so set on this dream. I knew this is what I wanted for myself. This is everything that I knew, just video, and it was nothing else. So I packed my bags, and I went to college. College was also another point in time where this was something new to me. I didn't want to go in the first place. I felt like I was living my parents' dream more than my dream. And the biggest thing that I noticed right away was, wait, you're telling me my parents aren't here to tell me what to do every day? So, like every college kid, I participated maybe in a little too much fun my freshman year. And that ultimately led to me skipping class a ton, learning about what responsibility was at the end because that was really important at the time. And I ended up with a 1.8 GPA. Right there, I knew it. I was like, college isn't for me. There's no way I'm going to finish this. But I had no backup plan. There was no way that my mom was going to let me drop out, so I stuck with it, and I ultimately picked the graphic design degree. Because I ended up picking the graphic design degree, that led me to more in the creative field, learning all these different programs, all these different mentors. Kind of just led to me to where the videos I are making today, like the Hobo Day video and just a bunch of travel recap videos. And that also led to my first wedding. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into at the time, but as a broke college kid, I don't think you're going to say no when someone says, hey, can we pay you to do something? So after I stuck with all that, I ended up graduating with a 3.8 from SDSU in the degree in graphic design. And I had this new dream now. I was so far developed at this point, as I could be for being a young 20-year-old, and I said, hey, I want to get a new job. I'm going to get a great job. I'm going to start a family. I want to move out of Sioux Falls. I'm going to do all these things. I have this dream. I'm going to chase it and do it. And you know what happened? I moved back to my parents' house. Here we are again, kind of in the same spot as when I graduated high school. I bounced around jobs, part-time jobs, living in my parents' house, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. So I just kind of started traveling around the country, started making videos, bouncing around different part-time jobs like making sales and snowboard stuff, snowboard sales at a snowboard shop. But something happened where I just didn't really want to do this anymore because the reality set in that, hey, I got to start paying my student loans off, so I got to start making money somehow. So I did the most logical thing that anyone could probably do as a fresh graduate, student loans coming. I started a business. I started Suit Media in 2018, and right there, I knew that after bouncing around all these different part-time jobs, all these different random jobs, like doing maintenance and stuff, I wasn't utilizing myself like I wanted to. And I just knew right there, I had to be creative, there was nothing. There was no going back, there was no turning back to a different career path. I had this set dream along the way that it had to be creative or nothing. So when I started Suit Media, I was starting to film all these different weddings, and I met so many different vendors and people and connections that I just felt on top of the world. Nothing was going to stop me. I was still able to travel all I can on my own time. But then this crazy thing in 2020 happened called COVID. And I don't think I'm not going to touch on that too much because I think we still might be recovering from that. But here we are again. I felt defeated. I felt lost. I felt confused. But I finished the year out as normal. And I just had this thought, though. I'm scared. I don't know what I'm going to do. Anything like this can happen again. And so here I am, back on the job hunt, chasing the old dream. I got to find a good job. I got to start a family. I got to find all these things to have a good life. Well, there was one day, at least the job part worked out, where my old friend Bree texted me, hey, are you looking for a job? Because we might be hiring a videographer. So if you want to come check out the studio, feel free to, because we're into your work, and we just wanted to see if you're still around, so come check it out. And fast forward, here I am. I have to think 3D a lot because there's a lot of opportunities that came up that they let me do and have, and especially they taught me so much in development and growth that I truly don't think I'd be here on the stage sharing my story with you all without them today. And I've been talking about these dreams I had along the way of, oh, I wanted to move to Utah, I wanted to graduate college and have a good job, and all that happened, but now this new dream developed, and I started to feel like I'm kind of living that new dream. Everything happened to me for a reason, and I'm sharing my story today because there was a lot of obstacles and changing goals that kind of changed everything I had planned for myself at the time. But I didn't give up, and I kept putting in the work. Things could have been different, but I trusted myself enough because others believed in me, and I just had to keep trusting the process. I knew what I wanted with my life, but the lesson I learned that with growth and success, there's no timeline to things. You can put in all the action steps, all the small goals. You just have to know how you're going to get there. It's not about knowing when you're going to get there. It's about knowing how you're going to get there. There's no timeline to these things. We all have our own journeys. We all have our own stories. And we all get there on our own time in our own way. So at the beginning, I asked you all to think about what are some things you would tell your younger self. Maybe you write it down in your journal, share it with others. And I actually have a video at the end I'll be playing, telling my younger self some things. Today, you are not the same person as you were yesterday, a year ago, maybe even this morning, and years before that. The person you are today will be your younger self tomorrow. Every second that goes by, every hour that goes by, every day that goes by is a version of you that's changing, and it's up to you to decide how you want to change it. So why not start today for a better tomorrow and be someone your younger self will be proud of? Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Dear younger self, everything's going to be okay. I'll start off by saying it wasn't easy getting to where you are, but hey, you did it. You grew up into someone you'd be proud of.
One night to be confused, one night to speed up truth. We had a promise made, 4 hands and then away.
There was a lot of different experiences you went through, but you're going to be glad you did, because those experiences will shape you into who you are today.
Mind is a razor blade, to call for hands of above, to lean on, would it be good enough?
You also went to a lot of different places, and I don't think you plan on stopping quite yet. Some of these places are going to be described as...
This is fucking insane.
Thanks, Logan. From the streets of Tokyo to the canyons of Montana, you'll never have a shortage of great company with you. They'll be your biggest inspiration for why you do what you do, and they're going to be your biggest supporters along the way. Sometimes, you'll wonder if it's worth it, and trust me, it's worth it. Always.
One night of magic rush, the start a simple touch. One night to push and scream, and then relief. 10 days of perfect tears, the love is written.
Let's go,
We had a promise made,
Oh my god, dude.
we were in love. To call for hands of above, to lean on, would it be good enough? To call for
If I could leave you with some advice, I'd say just live. Everything will work its way out, and you just have to trust the process along the way. Stop living like you have to, and live like you get to. Take things one step at a time, and put in the work and keep on going, because this journey called life has so much to offer, and there's so much more for you to experience. You can't spend too much time making everything just perfect, and that's okay, because that's the beauty of life. It will be spontaneous, and that'll make for the best moments. So keep being the best self you can, because life will be full of surprises, so you might as well make the best of it.
to call for hands of above, to lean on, would it be good enough? Lean on, to call for hands of above, to lean on, would it be good enough?
Oh, and one last thing. Don't forget to have a little fun.
Yep. Is that it? Yeah. You ready? No. Yeah. Oh, damn, this is Look at me, Tom.